Hello YouTube, this is an Ace review, and today I wanted to talk about a new game on the block called War of the Roses. This is a third-person late medieval combat game set during the war of the same name, between the English houses of Lancaster and York. As you might have guessed, being made by Paradox Interactive, the gameplay itself is inspired by the Mount and Blade games, and it is easy to learn but difficult to master as they were. Also, the new setting is coupled with extra customization for your weapons, armor, skills, and so on. On the other hand, there are also new features that were not in the Mount and Blade series, first being executions, healing, and reviving. In Mount and Blade games, health is limited for the match, and you cannot heal it back. Here, you can, but doing so immobilizes you for a few seconds. Sometimes this becomes outright necessary if you're caught bleeding. In addition, if you get knocked down, you can be revived by another player, or finished off to prevent this. All these actions reward you with experience and gold to purchase on new gear and perks, with the exception of healing yourself. These aren't the only things added to the formula, however. There's now a fast reload system for the crossbow. Getting it correctly gives you a faster reload, while messing up this minigame makes you take longer in the process. I will say that the changes to the gameplay are fresh ideas that would benefit the video game industry as a whole. It just makes more sense to do this than to have a case where you heal after a few seconds for absolutely no reason. The other systems also work well because they give gamers a way to ensure that their opponents won't be back on their feet and facing them again in mere seconds. I will also mention that the graphics are improved compared to the Mount and Blade series, even though they still aren't quite as good as what you would expect modern times, but graphics don't make a game. And the experience system also grants golden experience for just simply doing damage. I like this because it cuts down somewhat on someone stealing kills and getting all the benefit when you did most of the work. I will say, however, that I have a few issues with this game. First, this game has no option for a first-person view most of the time. This was one of the things that made Mount and Blade so good. The view gave the game more an immersive experience. I also have another complaint that the single player is training only, and with the bots that don't even show which side they're on, unlike in multiplayer. In addition to this, though, my biggest complaint is that there are currently only two game modes in this game: Team Deathmatch and a Battlefield-esque Conquest mode. For a $30 game, I must admit I was at first skeptic of the game for what you get at that price. I will say that there are a few things that make me recommend this, however. Firstly, they intend to add new game modes later on, including Siege mode where one side defends a castle and the other attacks. Other additions include new maps, weapons, etc. Also, this is a 64-player game, so the battles are bigger than what you would typically have in Call of Duty or many other multiplayer games at the present time, even if they're still not on the scale that Mount and Blade had. They even added a page, however, from the Battlefield playbook by allowing you to spawn on your squad and giving a bonus in experience when doing so. Truth be told, the gameplay is solid and you can experience fast enough to get what you need fairly early on. Even then, you have 4 initial pre-made classes to pick from that are all good in a fight and will have their own little advantages and disadvantages. So, brand new players still have something good up their sleeve. There isn't much variety in the game modes, but this is made up for with good gameplay and a promise of new features added later. So overall, I like the gameplay innovations, the unique setting, and for the most part what you do get. There have been some minor issues with the game, but the dev team has worked hard on fixing them, so I expect fans of Mount and Blade games will be most pleased. You should also get this game if you are into role-play games, because even though this isn't a role-play game, I was reminded a little of Oblivion from Elder Scrolls games. Even though there is no magic or anything like that, you guys should still like what is in here.